last-minute scores mean OT thrillers on Week 12 of NFL Primetime. The Texans try to block the Pats from win number 9, while the Ravens' comeback forces a fifth quarter and the highest-scoring game of the year. In regulation, the Pack look to run over the Niners. Dallas tries to cowboy up on the Panthers. The Bengals try to pile it on early out west, while the Titans dig themselves an early hole. One of the NFL's best rivalries turned into a blowout, and could the Bills finally get into the end zone? All the answers on the way on NFL Primetime.
NFL Primetime is presented by Miller Lite. Primetime is Miller time. And now, here's your host, Chris Berman.
If they only knew. Hi, everybody. Welcome to NFL Primetime. Chris Berman, Tom Jackson. Let us be the first to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We want to do that early. Week 12, so we get overtime games decided at the end. Things are getting curiouser and curiouser. Is that a word?
And every year we say it, you know, this has been the craziest season we've ever seen. This has been the craziest season we've ever seen.
Although a couple of teams, you don't know they're going to be hot in December and January. They certainly are hot in the middle of the season, and that would be the Philadelphia Eagles, who are at home against the New Orleans Saints. The Saints have won 4 and 5 with Jim Haslett, but it's the Eagles who've won 5 in a row. They are as hot as anyone in football. The screen to Deuce McAllister early. Now watch this sequence. He is tackled just short of the end zone. Next play, it's Deuce. One ref calls a touchdown, other ref doesn't call. Jim Haslett decides that we don't review it, and wouldn't you know it, the next play, it's a fumble, and the Eagles recover. So, Ryan Westbrook, who is really emerging from Villanova's finest, scores a 15-yard touchdown. It's 10-0 Philly late first. Then, pass rush, Nate Wayne. Sacks Aaron Brooks, it's a fumble. Indy, he's got plenty of Kalu. Falls on it. Joe Horn frustrated because his team down 17-0. Then, ace, deuce, he's plenty of use. He could go all the way. Look at the separation, Tom.
Always had the speed. This is the reason they felt like Ricky Williams was expendable.
That's a 76-yard touchdown. John Connie, field goal, attempt blocked by Michael Lewis, not the beer man, the wine man, the Eagles guy, the cheesesteak man. So, it's a 9-point game. Then Donovan McNabb to John Lionel Richie all night long. And the Eagles win it 33-20. Philadelphia has now won 6 in a row. That 0-2 start, a distant memory. Another 100-yard game for McAllister. That's 8 in a row. But in this game, Donovan McNabb hit 10 different receivers, all the running backs, everyone contributing on offense.
Yeah, and Donovan McNabb doing that thing that he does with his legs. He comes out again, and he makes you second-guess yourself defensively because he has the run option. Great job of doing that today.
Both teams running for about 200 yards. Bill Carr and the Steelers trying to get something going at 3-7 against a team that humiliated them earlier in the year. That's Cleveland. And so that 2nd and goal for the Browns. That was Kendra Bell on the hit. And look at that, Thomas. He stops your cousin, James Jackson.
Over the top.
And now on 3rd down, 3rd and goal. And, oh, he's met at the line. It's Jackson by James Ferrier and Kendrell Bell. And then the Browns go for it. Here midway through the 3rd, little trickery, and it's going to be no, it's not. What a hit by Chad Scott. Look at the replay. Northcutt's elbow. He's down first. And so it's no touchdown. A great goal line stand by the Steelers. Now later in the 3rd, Browns again down 10-6 inside the 10-yard line. And the Steelers defense again in the person of Brent Alexander with the pick in the end zone. He almost goes all the way to the midfield stripe on this day. Bill Cowher said, look, going in as the Steelers win 13-6. We have forced only 11 turnovers, only Arizona's worst. He preached turnovers all week, hit harder. 5 turnovers forced by the Steelers, none by the Browns.
Yeah, also went back to that old philosophy that you talked about on Sunday Countdown. This team running the football. Jerome Bettis, 24 for 93. Not great numbers, but the 20-plus carries, I think you're going to see this team get back to running the ball.
So this time, not a lot of yards by Pittsburgh's offense, under 200, but the 5 turnovers, the reason they won it. A battle of martial quarterbacks between the Jets and the Jags. And always a big-time matchup as T.O. and the Niners try to spill the pack at Lambeau. Who would come out on top?
And DirecTV. Movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment.
Jaguars and the Jets, and the feature guys here. Two guys. Chad Pennington was a senior at Marshall at quarterback. Byron Leftwich was a freshman. And now they're playing against each other in the pros. 6-3 Jags down in the fourth quarter. Fred Taylor 2 yards. Second and goal. Taylor, not quite. Third and goal. Taylor stopped by Victor Hobson. Fourth and goal. 4.5 to go. Chris Pullman to Mafala. He's a bad Mafala.
Shut your mouth.
Talking about Mafala.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Yeah, Jack Del Rio can dig it. Tom, we got it right this time. 10-6 Jaguars. What? And a drive beginning at their own 5. Chad Pennington has the Jets moving to Gerald Soul Train for a 14-yard pickup. Then second and goal, 34 seconds to go. For these 7 straight games, Santana Moss has caught a touchdown. And the Jets have a 95-yard drive by Marshall Sr. against Marshall Jr., if you will. Pennington leads the Jets to a 13-10 win over the Jaguars. Lions, Vikings. Poor Mooch. It began long before he got there, but the Lions have lost 21 straight road games. They're at Minnesota, who've lost 4 straight this year. Joey Harrington to Casey Fitzsimmons. And Casey in the end zone. Touchdown Lions at the end of the half. They tied it at 7, but wait, a flag on the play, Tom. Interference here.
Yeah, you look at the play. Corey Schlesinger right there at the front of the end zone, and boy, what a ticky-tack call by the official.
Well, it got worse because after a long time out and they reviewed and everything, and now tick, 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 the Lions, naturally, Jason Hansen's going to kick a field goal, but you saw in the lower left, the play clock ran out. So now after all this, they don't get a field goal off on time. They have to kick another one. It's now a 43-yarder, and wouldn't you know, they miss it. This is a team that's lost 21 straight on the road, and you can, there's the undercard right there. 7-0 Vikes at the half. However, this would get interesting. Mo Williams with the carry, but Dre Bly with the scoop. And in the same place that Randy Moss did this about a month and a half ago, whoop! The pitch back to Corey Harris. Touchdown, tricky Lions. We're tied at 7. And now it's a 10-7 Viking lead with 2.5 to go. And Harrington trying to, Corey Chavis, his 8th pick of the year, and he could go all the way, touchdown.
Yeah, and watch these picks and watch Harrington's eyes. He's staring these receivers down. The defender's drawn right to the receiver.
And this is just like seconds later. It's Brian Williams, who had 3 today with a touchdown. Detroit would come back to score. A wild last few minutes. The Minnesota Vikings get off the 4-game skid with an important win for them. So now they are 7-4, and the Detroit Lions have lost 22 straight road games. And ties them with the second worst ever streak in NFL history. The pre-circle the wagon Bills of the mid-'80s had it, and the worst were the Oilers of the just before and the very first couple of games of the Warren Moon era. Before Moon got there, the Oilers 23 in a row in the early 80s. Bad news. The 2 remaining road games for the Lions. At Kansas City, yikes. And at Carolina, yokes. When we return,
to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Niners and the Packers has a magical sound, doesn't it? However, even though you circled this game at the beginning of the year, playoff teams a year ago, perennials, both teams coming into this only 5-5. Someone's got to get going. Who would get going? The frozen tundra at Lambeau Field. Brett Favre is 9-1 lifetime against the San Francisco 49ers with plays like this. Oh, man, Javon, that's not Sterling Sharp. That's Javon Walker. 66-yard touchdown. That's like the old days, that play, Tom.
Absolutely.
7-0. But then, this is like the real old days, isn't it? Tony Parrish with the pick. Brett was picked off 3 times today by the 49ers. However, 49ers, 2 of those picks were in Packer territory. They get a field goal, and on that one, they only get a punt because of penalties. This is the theme today. Amon Green, 13-yard run. On 3rd and 1, Amon Green, he had 27 carries for 154. And then sometimes you get a little lucky, right?
Yeah, Brett Favre going to throw this ball. Probably did it on purpose. Throws the ball behind the defender, gives Robert Ferguson a chance to make that catch. That was Mike Rump defending.
Yeah, he's done a better job this year. Rumpet got beat on that one. It's 14-0. They scored 17-3 in the third. Terrell Owens end around, and boom! He's planted by Antoine Edwards. 49ers have to punt. Same score, third. Favre picked off by Mike Rump. Told you he was playing better. Just give me a couple of plays and I'll prove it. 4th and 3 Niners. Late third, Tim Rattay. T.O. Touchdown. Terrell just got 5 for 49. It's now a touchdown game, 17-10. 6 minutes to go. The Niners trail by 10. And Rattay picked off by the guy that dumped T.O. earlier. That's Antoine Edwards. And the Green Bay Packers do what they usually do when Brett Favre is playing against the 49ers. They beat San Francisco by the score of 20-10. So you put together that win at Tampa last week, which was an emotional win for a lot of reasons, and now the win over the Niners and the Packers, not the Niners with the 6-5 team, and boy, do they run the ball, Tom.
Yeah, 243 yards rushing against the 4th-ranked rush defense in football. That's outstanding. That's the way the Green Bay Packers win now.
Brett Favre, 10 of 15, 3 picks for 138. Are we talking about the same guy? Obviously, he's playing hurt, but guess what? The Packers win at home, and the Niners now 0-5 on the road this year. They get 3 road games left. Brett Favre has not had a 300-yard passing game since November last season. But they run it almost 2-1, and the Packers, with this win today, are back in the hunt.
Inside the Numbers, brought to you by Visa. If you love the NFL, it's everywhere you want to be.
When we return, Patriots in trouble against the Texans, who would be the latest hero for New England. They go to OT in this game. And the Bills score a touchdown.
Miller Lite.
At Orchard Park, New York, it's always cold at this time of the year. However, 70 degrees. Come to Buffalo for the winter. It's brave. And the Colts at the Bills. All Bills special teams. No, Bills special teams. Brian Moorman fumbles it. Runs 37 yards. There's the play they were looking for.
Well planned.
Yep. And this team has not scored a touchdown in 3 weeks, but they had 3 safeties. There it is! A touchdown! Drew Bledsoe. Greg Williams psyched. The owner, Ralph Wilson, psyched. And the Bills have scored for the first time in a touchdown in a month. And they lead it. Now they lead 14-3 in the fourth. Edgerrin James. Whoop! 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 What a run by Edgerrin James. It's 14-9. Colts gamble. Don't get the 2, so it stays a 5-point Bills lead. Now, 7 minutes to go. Peyton Manning in Buffalo. Naturally, the Bills fans have to watch another team run the no-huddle, Tom. That's Dallas Clark, a great football name, for 13 yards. Aaron Moorhead, 18 yards. Then, 3rd and 6. Manning. Marvin Harrison playing gimpy, but a first down. Here we go. James, Colts, hoping. They're from the 3. 2.5 minutes to go. James to the... Whoa! He's the tackle at the 1. James, can the Bills mount a goal line stand? Yes, they do. He stopped. 3rd and goal. James. No, he's down. Tom, where is he? He's on the 1. Fly.
That's it.
Tony Dungy says we just have a to go. And Thurman Thomas, they honored him today. He's in the stands. Come on, defense. And Deirdre, oh, it's a touchdown. And Thurman's gone. The wagon's not circled. James, Manning, they struggle. But Tony Dungy's Colts are now 9-2 as they beat the Buffalo Bills by the count of 17-14. And last week the Colts were a 38-31 game, Tom, but they've won them both different ways.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, pretty outstanding. Good to see Edgerrin James get back on the right track. And look at those numbers again. Drew Bledsoe, 15-28, buck 35 and an INT. Hard to figure.
They got touchdowns. Maybe if they had a couple of safeties, they could have won 100-yard day for Edgerrin James. And now we go with the Bears and the Broncos. Certainly the Broncos have been scoring 30 or more points all the time with Jake Plummer at quarterback. And early on, Clinton Portis with the Broncos up 7-3 is going to make this a laugher. 59-yard run. It leads to a field goal attempt by Elam, but they miss it. And the Broncos are going to be down 9-7 at the half. Chris Chandler hurt. So he's gone. So what's going to happen? Cordell Stewart back in for the Bears. Meanwhile, Portis down 9-7. Early second half. Look at him go. He could go a lot of the way. 49-yard game, but he has the wind knocked out of him. Return, as you point out, Tom, not as effective. Denver kicks a field goal. It's 10-9. With the Broncos leading 10 at Cordell Stewart to Stanley Wilson Pritchett on 4th and 2, and they don't wait to the midnight hour. Dick Duran, Mike Shanahan looking on. 4th quarter, same drive, 1st and goal to the 3. Cordell And he tries to get in. A 2-yard gain. Second goal from the 1. Cordell. Just short of the goal. Boy, a lot of goal line stands today, Tom. Third and goal. Cordell stopped at the 1-5 line. Bears challenge. Field, the call stays. But Cordell with the touchdown. And you got to say, a big shot. Because Denver was coming with Plummer. The Bears, good for Dick Geron and his team. They're still playing good D, and they beat the Broncos in a big upset 19-10.
Yeah, big picture, Denver Broncos, a lot of teams from other divisions climbing into that wild card race, and that's what you're going to be battling for. It's a huge loss for the Broncos at home against the Bears.
And Cordell Stewart, I mean, numbers weren't so great, but, you know, big satisfaction for him in a wild game between the Seahawks and Ravens. We got to show you everything and a controversy as well. And speaking of overtime, Texans taking the Pats to the limit and then some. Sunday Night Football here on ESPN. The Miami Dolphins looking to get going. They know that they're chasing New England in the AFC East, and into town came the Washington Redskins. Steve Spurrier back in SEC country. With highlights, here's Scott Van Pelt.
Super Bowl VII rematch. Dolphins wear orange unis for the first time in their 38-year history. Bruce Smith, half a sack behind Reggie White for the all-time record. Skins down 7-3. Brian Griese. That looks like half a sack. Ronaldo win, Bruce Smith, and that is the record, 198. To the action at hand, Dolphins down 20-10. Griese throws deep. Intercepted by Rashad Bauman. Griese picked twice, which means Jay Fiedler gets action. He's on the field for the first time in a month. First play, Fiedler, you all right? Looks like it. What a grab by Chris Chambers. This guy can make plays. 31-yard gain there. Leads to 4th and goal. Give it to the man in the dreads. Up and over. Ricky, 107 yards, 14th 100-yard game as a Dolphin. Next, Dolphin drive, same score. Ricky for the win. Touchdown. Skins fumble a punt late in the game to seal their fate. Next Sunday night, it's the Battle of the Sunshine State as Tampa Bay heads up to Jacksonville. Will the Super Bowl champs even head back to the playoffs? They need to get some wins and get them in a hurry. It follows NFL Primetime. Speaking of which, back to you, Boomer.
New England Patriots, they have been a red-hot ball club since their rough start. They've won 6 in a row, and they face Tony Banks. Tom Brady going up against Tony Banks and the Houston Texans. Boy, have they been game this year. Here is Brady, intercepted by Eric Brown, but watch what happens. It's a boo-boo. Recovered by Christian Fourier, so it goes as a plus for the Patriot. Results in a New England field goal. Then Adam Vinatieri has been human this year. Doink! With 6 seconds left in the half, hits the upright, so the Patriots lead stays just 7-10-3. 13-10 New England third quarter. Brady in trouble. No tuck rule here. Ball fumble. Picked up by Jay Foreman. He's running like Chuck Foreman. Down to the 33. Brady, man, what happened? 2nd and 8 from the 16. Tony Banks to the American League batting champ, Bill Miller. Touchdown, 17-13, Houston.
Yeah, take a look. The arrow is on Rodney Harrison, the safety, and he just slips down right on that middle hash mark. Leaves Billy Miller open. That's a pretty easy throw for Tony Banks.
And so the Patriots now trailing and punting, and Ken Walter has had an adventure this season. Ramon Walker blocks the punt, and this will result in a Texans field goal, so they're up by 7. Special teams, Houston. So 2.5 to go. The Pats on their own 33. Brady, watch Brady buy time, and somehow fire and find Daniel Graham, the tight end, 33 yards. 4th and 1 with 48 seconds to go. Bootleg, Brady in big trouble, and he makes a touchdown to Graham. Touchdown, and look at the Houston side, like, what, McHale. It's a touchdown, and getting a big 20 all. What a play. Earlier in the game, though, Graham wasn't so sharp.
Yeah, show you one of the great things about Tom Brady, going back to a receiver, not feeling very good about himself. You can see here in the second quarter, he goes to Graham, a drop there, he goes to him again, same pattern, a drop there, but goes back to him in the clutch toward the end of the football game for the win.
And how about the concentration on that catch to tie the game? And so we go to overtime, where the Texans have won the toss. But on the first play from scrimmage, Dom Capers kind of ran out the clock with the ball late, and this might have been why. Banks picked off by Mike Vrabel in overtime. New England in field goal position. The water in the veins. Adam Vinatieri from 37 yards, but it's blocked by the same man, Ramon Walker. The Ramones, a rock and roll high school. Dum, 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 dum. And so, life for Houston. Tony Banks, Andre Johnson. Oh, he almost has it. The Texans, though, forced to punt. 3 minutes to go in overtime. Brady, Bob, Marlon McCree playing center field, and the Texans have the ball, but a kind of a soft penalty call. Patriots maintain it. Vinatieri 28-yard field goal. The Natalie clad in his 4th different sweatshirt in 5 weeks. Bill Belichick wins. He should get an ad from Old Navy. And the Patriots in overtime have won their 7th straight, beating Houston 23-20. Houston game, but Tom Brady
not having lost in his career in overtime, and I don't think it's an accident. He has that ice running through his veins at the end of a football game. He just, boom, you say it all the time, he just knows how to win.
He's a winner. He threw for 368 today. The Patriots had almost 500 yards. Well, the Seattle Seahawks went into the game tied for first in their division. The Baltimore Ravens went into the end of the day tied for first in their division. But you knew a game between these two teams, Anthony Wright at quarterback, it's going to be in the mid-teens. Each team is 16-15 final. Well, we knew the game would be close. We were up by about 50 points. Here's our prime cut on this. Week of this game turned out to be amazing. But actually, it was a 3-3 game in the final minute of the first half. Matt Hasselbeck, the Darrell Jackson, had some drops this year. He was very strong today, 10-3 Seahawks. Now 16 seconds left in the half. Ravens ball. Fumble by Chester Taylor. Ken Lucas has it. All of a sudden, this low-scoring game getting goofy. Because Hasselbeck looking for Bobby Ingram. And it's Seattle wants a touchdown. First they say no, it's incomplete, but they ruled, and actually we looked at it, Tom. I think it was a good call.
Yes, it was a good call.
That he would have landed in bounds, and so it's 17-3 Seahawks. Anthony, what a catch by Travis Taylor, and he has the brain to get up and go 43 yards. Same drive, Anthony Wright. Remember him with the Bears a few years ago? Marcus Kukukachu, Mr. Robinson. 13-yard touchdown. He was a great leaper with Chicago. Took kind of about 3 years off, and now he's in the end zone, 17-10. Now it gets really crazy. 17-point lead for Seattle. Ed Reed is as good as anybody at this time.
And maybe so young in his career, maybe becoming the best before it's all over.
So they had a 17-point lead, 41-24 with 7 minutes to go, and Reed blocks the punt by Todd Ruin. Then, right throw, chipped by Marcus Robinson. Frank Sanders has it. A 44-yard gain. Amazing. This is the game that wouldn't end. Same drive, second to go. Remember, it's still 41-31. Right. Kukukachu, Mr. Robinson. He fakes the jump, catches it 41-38. Now pay attention. 58 seconds to go. Onside kick recovered by Seattle. Sean Alexander running for 3 yards. Flag on the play. Ed Reed, you see in the background, calling for a timeout. However, administrative mistake. They said Seattle had too many guys at the field or didn't report. It was not the case. So 3rd and 1 with 58 seconds to go. The clock doesn't go. Baltimore called for a timeout, but they weren't charged with it. A measurement stops the clock. They don't get it. Hasselbeck goes for it on 4th down. But when they discussed the plans, Baltimore, they thought it already used timeouts. We'll have to explain this more fully later, but it was a timeout. Baltimore seemingly got either an extra timeout or the benefit of 30 more seconds on the clock. Meanwhile, Baltimore gets a gift. Right, and if they make a good defensive play, right to Marcus Robinson, but Marcus Trufant called for interference. And so, Matt Smokey Stover, with seconds to go, good. And the Ravens have scored 17 points in the last 7 minutes. We go to overtime. In OT, Matt Hasselbeck, where are you going to go? Runs the ball for a first down. He was courageous, but he's down, he's injured, and for the first time in Baltimore since he won a Super Bowl, Trent Dilfer plays quarterback, but it's for the Seahawks. And so he's going to hand it. Oh, no, he's not. They're going to go for the downs. He overthrows Darrell Jackson. Hasselbeck comes back after the one play. 3rd and 10. Ravens rushing. Hasselbeck in trouble. and tries to buy time, but Peter Booyah makes the play. Seahawks punt. Ensuing possession. Matt Stover, 42-yard field goal. It's good. It's good. In a game that was 3-3 with a minute to go in the first half, it's a final. The Ravens 44, the Seahawks 41. Seattle with a brutal road loss, and the Ravens with a preposterous home win. Afterwards, Sal Palantonio with Ray Lewis.
What does it say about the character of this team to come back in the fourth quarter and win it in overtime?
You know what, Sal? When we came in at halftime, Coach Brian Billick said one thing. He said one thing. He said, listen, it ain't up to the coaches no more. It's up to the players. That's to believe. And we came out in defense. Hey, we came out flat. These people came out. They have great receivers, but we stuck together, Sal.
You forced that fumble with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. What did you say to the team when you went to the sideline?
I told them, look, just give us a chance. Just give us one chance. I said, if they're going to run the football, I'm going to script it. I promise you I'm going to script it. I had a couple opportunities early to script it, and when I went to them, I said, it's up to you now.
It's all so much that you've been involved in your career. How emotional is this game for you?
This right here is God just bringing us together, man. It's beautiful. It's just God just saying, listen, if I'm for you, who can be against? It's beautiful, man.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Sal.
Back to you.
All right, Sal, thank you very much. It takes a while to explain it. However, I'm going to preface it all by Seattle had a 17-point lead with 7 minutes to go, much as the Giants did, last year against San Francisco. You complain, yeah, but here's what happened. The league unofficially says you're either supposed to start the clock. Oh, it was a wrong flag. Report. No, you did report. It's a wrong flag. Either start the flag or call a clock with 50-something seconds to go or call a timeout. What happened was neither happened. Holmgren thought Baltimore had used their last timeout. They did not. They had one left. Either way, it was either an extra timeout or 30 less seconds that Baltimore should have had. So Seattle has caused a gripe. However, the big news is, once again, Seattle blows a game on the road that they had in their hip pocket, and Baltimore scraping and finding a way to score all those points.
And you end up sacking Anthony Wright 6 times. However, at some point, you were sporadic in that pressure. You allowed him to get comfortable in the pocket. He throws for 320 yards and 4 touchdowns. You get a young quarterback like Anthony Wright, you go at him until he has nightmares about the blitz packages coming at him.
Both teams had 426 yards in the game, exactly the same amount. But the Ravens had the 44 points in the end, and the Seahawks had 41. And Seattle, which is only 1 of 4 on the road, has 3 of their last 5 left on the road. Joey Galloway, the game of the day, the 7-3 Cowboys against the 8-2 Panthers, and cold in Kansas City. Priest Holmes and the Chiefs. Heaven forbid they lost last week, but they beat their arch rival Raiders. Day in the NFC. No one would have guessed this at the beginning of the year. Bill Parcells, 7-3 Cowboys at home against, and then of course it's Quincy Carter with a big game. They were shut out last week against the 8-2 Carolina Panthers. Carter, now he has a strong arm, and Joey Galloway can do this. They missed last week's game against New England. Touchdown, Tom, 24 yards, 10-3. How about that, Cowboy?
They're good. We're tied at 10. Jake Delhomme going to be pressured. He was all day here. Ball's going to pop up. Roy Williams going to get it. The big hitter gets an interception down the sideline. And we don't expect Roy Williams to go out of bounds. He doesn't. And he gets the ball down close for the Dallas Cowboys.
And sets up a touchdown to make it 17-10. Delhomme's number's not impressive. However, he just comes through in some big plays when you least expect it. Musa Muhammad for 35 yards. And now after pass interference on Dallas at the 1-yard line, daylight come, and you got a Delhomme. A touchdown to Brad Hoover, and we are tied at 17. Now, tricky Cowboys. Richie Anderson, the pitch, Davian Cason, and the Cason keeps rolling along. 16 yards. How about them Cowboys? 24-17.
Tricky Panthers. They're getting ready to punt. Todd Sauerbrunn gonna fake the punt and kind of just throw it out into the middle of the field. And trick's not working for the Carolina Panthers.
Well, their special teams have been great, and John Fox thought they could do something there, but that pass looked like sauerkraut. Now, fourth quarter, 6 minutes to go in the game. Delhomme blitz, throws it up, and Steve Smith has become such a big play guy. Smith caught 4 today for 73. Hey, we're working on Newman all day. That's 42 yards. Delhomme drilled. Incomplete on 3rd and goal from the 12. Carolina kicks the field goal with 4 minutes to go, figuring they'll have the ball again. They're down 4, 24-20. Play action. 3rd and 9 from the 21. Carter traveled short of the first down, but look what Brenson Buckner does. They had forced the punt, and this changes the whole game because the next 3rd and 9, Carter to Jason Witten for a first down. And so, Quincy Carter hitting 9 different receivers on the day leads the Cowboys to a 24-20 win over the Carolina Panthers. And in a game that the Cowboys, remember, they've been shut out 2 of their last 4. They got some offense, and they made big plays at the end. But Parkdale happy.
This was a tremendous win for us. Very hard-fought game. They got a good team. They caused you a lot of problems. And I just thought our guys were really good today. And they hung in there, fought it out, made some clutch plays. And you can't call them losers anymore. This was by far the best win that I've had here in Dallas. And it was a hard-fought game. I'm just proud of them. They played hard today.
We know Bill a little bit. Look, what that was the win in the Meadowlands was a personal thing, and it put Dallas on the map. But this now, by Dallas winning for the 8th time this season, they now are in the hunt the entire season now, where they could have kind of started to slide a little bit now, Tom. Impressive for Dallas.
Yeah, impressive, and a lot of it brought on by this pressure defense, and they've got a lot of different ways that they can get to you. We're going to take a look at least 4 of them. Dallas defense. First example is going to be this front 4. Kenyon Coleman and Eric Abagu, going to be coming from the outside. Leonardo Harris coming on a little twist up at the top, and then he gets to the quarterback and brings him down for a sack. Second example is going to be power. Greg Ellis at the bottom of the screen. Yes, he's coming around the edge, but he flattens out right there, just powers his way around, hits Delhomme on the yard. The third example, we see a lot of this with these safeties. Roy Williams, as good as anybody in the league at it, coming right up the middle, forces delivery of the ball before Delhomme is ready, and then 8 men in the box, and they love to do this. They play the man coverage. They trust each other. You have to get to the quarterback when you do this, and they do right there to knock the ball out. Abagu again, making sure that the pass is tipped before Delhomme could ever get rid of it. So that defense playing really hard.
And we should just point this out. We talked about it this morning. We talked about it on the Swami. 3-way round robin, all right? So now Dallas has beaten Carolina.
Yes.
This week, Philly goes to Carolina. Next week, Dallas is at Philly. If anybody comes out of that 2-0, you know, they may not, but Dallas has the first leg up as they go into their Thanksgiving game with Miami. Well, we also said that the West team in the NFC West that can win on the road would have a leg up. Seattle's lost on the road today. San Francisco's lost on the road today. Mark Folger had a rough day in the desert. Rams leading early 14-3, but it would start to change against Arizona, who's been embarrassed the last 2 weeks. Ronaldo Hill could go all the way. 70-yard pick. And it's a 17-10 game. St. Louis at the half. Now it's 24-10, and Jeff Blake, I want you to watch this rookie, Anquan Bolden. Ba-boom, ba-boom, as he hauls in the pass from Jeff Blake, 54 yards. This young man has caught in 11 games, balls for 999 yards, and he wasn't even the first receiver they drafted. Next possession, Rams, first down, Bolden. Uh-oh, picked off by Ronaldo Hill again. And that leads to another 3-yard touchdown pass to Bolden, which will tie the game at 24. Still now tied. 8 minutes to go. Bolger, sack, Ronald McKinnon. Boom! Sets up a Neil Rackers field goal in Arizona, who's beaten Green Bay. They've beaten San Francisco. They've beaten the Bengals in the desert. They're thinking upset. Under a minute to go. What a play on 4th and 7 from Bolger to Torrey Holt. What a season he's having. With 4 seconds to go, Jeff Wilkins, good. And we have our 3rd overtime game of the afternoon, Tom. 27 all. Overtime, 2nd and 1. Bolger, no one's open. He's gonna run? Yes, sir. 18 yards. If I only could have my guy make a field goal. 49 yards. Jeff Wilkins. It is good. It's good. And Mike Marsh and the Rams escape a pivotal win. You say, well, it's against their... Hey, look, the Rams are 3-3 on the road. That's miles ahead of anybody in the division. A pivotal win Bolger was picked off 4 times, but they somehow won the game.
Yeah, you don't like the turnovers, but you give him a lot of credit for getting over it and winning the football game. And I love the 24 carries to Marshall Faulk. He looked a lot like the old Marshall Faulk today.
Which is 100 yards for him. And so now they have a game lead on the Seahawks in the NFC West. Titans, Falcons, Steve McNair. They had scored 30 or more points 6 straight until last week when they only had 10. And they're playing Atlanta. But wait a minute, they're down 14-0. Doug Sling Johnson, the war is done, and he gets a huge block from Algie Crumpler right there. However, it's on Samari Roll, who got hurt on the play, and done 86 yards. Well done. The Titans have given up 21 first-quarter points. They allowed only 18 all year long in the first quarter. An upset brewing in Atlanta. With a score 21-7, Travis Jerby muffs the pickoff. Jake Shafito, which is a really nice Chianti, gets it for the Titans at the 5-yard line. Then 2 plays later, Frank Wycheck catches this from McNair. He had 2 today. Titans down 21-14. McNair throws, holds his right calf. According to Jeff Fisher after the game, he's a doubtful for the Titans' next game, Monday night against the New York Football Jets. So Billy Volek goes in, and so let's guess, Tom, you think they might run more?
Yeah, I think they're going to be running the football. Watch the play here. Holcomb with the lead block out of the offset. And we know that Eddie George is much more comfortable when he's running with the fullback in front of him. Again here, offset the other way. Holcomb going to lead on the play. And again, the nice lead block, the nice cutoff by Eddie George as he gets another 20 yards down the football field. Here out of the I formation, I think this is what Eddie really likes the most. And again, he's just following Holcomb right into the end zone.
Like the old days, Tom, George had 115 yards today. So it's a 24-21 Atlanta lead. And look at Justin McCarron. You've seen him do him as a receiver. And look at him go with a punt return. He could tightrope the sidelines all the way. 58 yards. Tennessee with the lead for the first time. 28-24. Score now 31-24 with McNair and Civvies. Billy Volek. So you guessed it. McCarron. Oh, is that pretty? And the Titans come back to win a wild one. 38-31 in a game in which George's running was a key. Atlanta was game, but they fall to 2-9. So Tennessee matching Indy's tight win. They are both 9-2 and steamrolling toward that head-to-head battle in Tennessee on Pearl Harbor Day, where all the big games are played in the NFL this year on December the 7th. Cincinnati Super Bengals. They're in San Diego. Marvin Lewis and the Bengals beginning a 3-game road trip. John Kitna to Chad Johnson. Look at the feet there, Tom.
He's a beautiful thing.
You go interview him, he's great. And Kitna to Chad Johnson. Touchdown. Did you see the move? Watch this. And whoop! Oh, man.
That's
touchdown.
That's a great move on Shammy Davis.
Shammy, how I love you. Hey, you know what? Johnson has 3 in the first half, and the Bengals have the big lead. And Doug Flutie now trying to get things going. That's David Boston for a first down. Flutie to Boston, more than a feeling. And now to LaDainian Tomlinson, 27-yard line. It's a 15-yard game. Tomlinson up the middle, touchdown. And the Chargers were way behind. They made it a 34-27 game. But John Kitna, you said it this morning, of all the quarterbacks in the division, he's playing the best. Look at today, 4 touchdown passes, 3 to Chad Johnson. And the Bengals have won 3 straight for the first time since 1999. The Bengals are over 500 at this stage of the season for the first time since the last year they made the playoffs in 1990. Cincinnati Bengals, Tom. Are you a believer?
It's my home.
I know it's your home. The Bengals and the Ravens are 6-5 in the always humorous AFC North. When we return, Chiefs and Raiders. What could happen?
NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite. Grab yourself a great-tasting, low-carb Miller Lite.
With ESPN Full Court, you'll get more than 450 additional games of college basketball. Order now.
Dear DirecTV, there's not a word to describe how great DirecTV is. It's not great. It's not greater than great. It's even greater than greatest. My mom.
The Kansas City Chiefs, heaven forbid they lost the game this year. They're 9-1 and playing the Oakland Raiders. Dick Vermeil looking Santa-like, doesn't he? Santa. And you know what? He's giving out and providing people with a lot of gifts. Derek Blaylock, 25-yard touchdown. That's not Priest Holmes. That's not even Larry Johnson. That's Derek Blaylock. 7-0 Chiefs against their longtime rival, the Raiders. Trent Green, screen to Priest Holmes. And gets some blocks down the sidelines. 22 yards down to the 17. Same drive. Priest with the lead block. Plows into the end zone, 14-0 Chiefs. They lead in the second, 21-7, second half. But the Raiders, all of a sudden winners last week. Tyrone Wheatley, 15 yards, touchdown, 21-14. Field goal Chiefs, 24-14. The time to hesitate is through. Rick Martyr to Jerry Rice, 47 yards. That's Jerry's first TD of the year. 24-21. There it is. Both are within 3. And then Chiefs punt. Philip Buchanan, he's magical on these returns. Short kick. And look at him go right upfield, Tom. Inside the 30. And he's pumped up. And he's called for unsportsmanlike conduct.
The helmet off against the Chiefs. Somebody else last year, Dwayne Rudd, took the helmet off against the Chiefs.
Sebastian Janikowski fires one down from 41 yards. Good. And we're tied with 2:18 to go. 3rd and 14. Green. Johnny's Martin. But he can't salt it away. 4th and 14. Tie game. And look at Trent Green. 4th and 14, that famed Green to Mark Bollrichter combination. Getting it close for Morton Anderson, who's only as good as they've ever been in the league. Morton, 36 yards. Good. What a surprise. Right down the middle. Good. And the Chiefs and Dick Vermeil have 10 wins this season. They're 10-1 as Kansas City in a game effort by Oakland to come back, but the Chiefs win it. 27-24. Green, 23 of 33. Holmes, almost 100 yards.
Boom, we get to our primetime players. I'm going to give my game ball to the most unlikeliest of heroes. Anthony Wright, on a day when the Baltimore Ravens give up 41 points, scores 44. You look at the numbers, they speak for themselves.
And 41 of them from about a half a minute left in the first half. And I'm going to give it to Chad Johnson. He says, I want to be the best. You did a beautiful piece with him this morning, Tom. He sleeps at the Bengals practice facility so he can get up and watch film. It paid off with 3 first-half touchdowns, and the Bengals maintain.
Primetime Performers. Brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Well, on this day, look, we started to tee you up on the 3-way round robin in the NFC as Dallas draws first blood. St. Louis is the Western team that wins a road game. You have the Chiefs winning 10. You have Minnesota getting back.
Get back on the right track. They picked the right team to do it against, the Detroit Lions on the road. But I think the wild card race in the AFC now shaping up to be something special.
Because the Big Four keep rolling along.
That's correct.
Tennessee, Indy, right? The New England Patriots. I mean,
New England.
Right?
What a great story. Maybe the
and
best
the
story. Maybe the best story is watching New England recover from all of the injuries.
I think that we have the table set for a nice Thanksgiving feast, don't you? So from all of us here at ESPN to all of you out there, have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. For Tom Jackson, I'm Chris Berman. Thanks for watching NFL Primetime.